Do not confuse this with treatment or mental health advice or direction. Nothing on this podcast is made to supplement or supersede the relationship and direction of your mental health caretakers. Although David Kozlowski is a licensed marriage and family therapist, he is not functioning as a certified mental health professional in this environment. And same applies to any professional who may appear on the OG Therapy podcast. Welcome to the OG Therapy.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of OG Therapy. And upon some teenagers' requests, I'm going to get back to answering some questions from some teenagers. And in today's episode, this one's coming hot off the press. So as many of you know, I'm a high school teacher. And in my high school classes, oftentimes I will do this little activity exercise, what I call it, a social health exercise, where I'll ask the kids to submit questions. They don't put their names down on them, but they submit questions that they would like me to answer for them. And they'd also like their peers to weigh in. So they write it down on a piece of paper. I read the question out loud. I give some thoughts. People in the class go around. They give some thoughts. Well, a few of the teenagers that are in my class, they're fans of the podcast. They said, hey, you haven't answered any questions from teenagers in a while. So here we go. Today's question that I'm going to be answering comes from a teenager that's concerned about her little sister, who's a little bit younger of a teenager. So here's how it sets up. She came to me. She said, hey, my little sister has been struggling with some self-harm. And she said she shared this information with her friends. Now, just a little side note, this is not private information, meaning like the family knows, the mom knows. I believe from what the sister said that they're getting some help with this. So it's not like it's a secret, but she did share it with a few friends in hoping to get some support and talking to them, because these are some people that have also struggled with mental health stuff in the past, hoping that these friends would understand and give her support. However, it backfired a little bit. Turns out that some of these friends of hers had started sharing with other people who she did not want it to be shared with. And because of that, it almost turned into like a little gossiping type of a rumor thing. As you can imagine, the girl who shared it with their friends, she was expecting them to keep that to themselves. She didn't want that type of personal information out there. The older sister that came to me said, hey, I'm trying to help my sister deal with this because my sister doesn't know how to address this with their friends. And I asked, I said, has she brought it up to her friends yet? She said no, because she's worried that it could cause drama, it could cause problems, and their friends might take it the wrong way. And also because it's a really personal thing, she might just feel uncomfortable about bringing it up and say, hey, have you been talking to other people about this? Even though she knows that they have. So my advice to her is the same advice I'm going to share with you guys on this podcast, because if you have someone in your life that has shared mental health struggles, and anything that's really deep and personal, if they shared it with close friends and then those people have shared that information with other people who they did not have that information intended to be shared with, that obviously can cause a lot of problems. So my advice to this young woman, or my suggestion, it's probably a better way to put it, I said, what you should do, you should tell your sister that she should reach out to the couple friends, not through text, but say, hey, I want to talk to you. And even though it's difficult to do this face-to-face, it's far more effective if you do it face-to-face. But to tell her friends, start off with a simple statement and say, hey, I'm really glad that I could share personal things with you, like me self-harming. And I'm really glad that you always have my back and you're always there for me. And I know that you want to help me and you do anything for me as I do anything for you. However, I've been hearing that you've been telling other people that I self-harm. I assume that when you told other people, you're talking to other people so that they'd be aware of what's going on so that you could help me. However, I didn't want you to tell anyone. I'm already getting help with my parents, family, therapists, counselors, whatever it may be. And I'm really feeling insecure that so many people know this about me. So could you please do me a favor and not talk to any of our friends about this? Because even though I know you're trying to have our friends be there to support me, it's something I'm working through, and it just makes me feel really insecure when a lot of people know about this. Then I told her to tell her little sister, after you say all that, then I want you to reiterate what you said in the very beginning. Say something like, I don't think you did this on purpose. I'm not mad at you. It's just making me feel insecure and nervous. So I'd really appreciate if you do that for me, and that would really mean a lot. Now, this girl said, she goes, I'm not quite sure if my sister will will be able to say that, or if she may struggle with that. And I said, well, you can offer assistance. You could tell her that you could help her compose a text if she's unwilling to do this face-to-face with her friends. And tell her, hey, these are your friends, that they care about you. Now, even though you may be questioning whether they care about you because they told other people, you've known them for a long time. And if you trusted them enough to tell them in the first place that you were self-harming, there's got to be a connection or relationship there that's special and intimate. And so you have to also trust that you can go to them and tell them hard things, not just hard things that you're going through, but hard things that you're feeling or difficulties that you're having with them telling other people. After I told this girl this, she said, that's the best idea I've heard so far. The reason why I came up and asked you, Mr. Cos, because I'm her teacher. And I tell my students, hey, listen, I don't give out therapy. I don't give out advice. I'm just giving you a suggestion because I could tell that this girl really loves her sister and she wants to do anything for her sister, but she also respects that her sister's got to figure these things out on her own. Now, I did clarify with her if this was like, if she felt that her sister was in serious harm or danger, because me being a mental health professional, I have to report those types of things. And she assured me that this is something that it's not a life-threatening thing, and it's not something. Now, I don't know all the details, but she's like, no, it's good. It's like family. Everybody that needs to know about it knows that this is a struggle. And I don't know if she's receiving actual current mental health treatment at this time, but it is a known thing. And that's why she doesn't want it to be known to people outside of their inner circle. Now, for all of you guys out there that do have loved ones or kids that self-harm, or you're fearful that they might be self-harming because they've done it in the past, let me give you just a quick little tip of how to approach that conversation. And the best way to approach that conversation in my experience as a support person, and I'm not saying as a therapist, but you being the support person, the best way I've had support people help their loved ones with self-harm is to not question them about why they're self-harming. If you were to start with the question saying, why are you harming yourself? Like, is your life really that bad? That's obviously not going to be a good way to start off the conversation. It is a very sensitive conversation. It's a very personal conversation. So step one, when someone tells you that they're self-harming, or let's start with that. If someone tells you that they're self-harming, the very first thing I want you to do is I want you to tell them thank you for sharing that information with you. And you might be asking yourself, why would I thank them? Well, because when someone does something and that thing is good for them, and in this case, I think if someone's opening up and telling you and confessing to you that they're struggling with self-harm, that's a good thing. Well, right when someone tells you something like that is good, you want to give them a positive reinforcement. That basically means, for all you teenagers out there listening, you want to reward them or thank them in some way for doing that thing. And in this case, if you say, hey, this may sound weird or whatever, but I just want to thank you for telling me this. I want to thank you for trusting me. I know this is a hard, difficult thing, and I know you wouldn't just tell anyone this. So the fact that you're telling me means a lot to me. And I'm glad that you're opening up about this, because it's not going to help if you keep this stuff inside. So that's obviously the first step. Now, the second step, I want you to then, after you make those statements, I want you to tell them, say something like, hey, I'd really like to help you, and I don't know exactly what to do, or I may not be the best person to help you. So another way I could help you is I could help you get help from someone else. Encourage your friend to go and talk to someone. And if they're too scared to talk to someone, tell them you'll go help them talk to that person with you. I've had many students throughout the years confess to me that they're self-harming, or maybe one of their friends in the class brought them in and said, hey, they're self-harming. And I said, okay, well, because you're a great friend, why don't you go help them by going to the counselor's office? Now, I reported it to the counselor, I reported it to the school and to all the proper people, but that friend gave them the courage, and that they gave them the bravery to go talk about and open up to other people about it to get themselves help when they probably wouldn't have done it on their own. We all know that there's strength in numbers. And so that's very important, that after you thank your friend for giving you that information, second, you tell them that you want to help them get help with this. And if they say, no, I'm good, then you might have to say some pretty tough things like, hey, I don't blame you for not wanting to talk about, not open up about it. Although, if I were to open up to you and tell you deep personal stuff that could possibly harm me, I don't think you just sit there and listen and be like, okay, I won't tell anyone and I'll just hope that you don't severely harm yourself. Unfortunately, that's not an option. As a good friend, you got to tell your friend, say, hey, I can help you talk about it. I can go tell someone for you, but I can't just ignore it and keep your secrets because this secret is not going to keep you safe. That's my tip for you guys today. And for the teenagers that gave me the questions, I'll be answering questions throughout the next couple weeks because, man, I got a lot of them. Apparently, teenagers not just want to have better time management with their homework and their studies at school, which is what most of the teenagers tell me this at the beginning of January. A lot of them also want to manage their relationships and their mental health, and not just manage it, make it so that it's happy, successful, and improving. So until next time, you guys, thank you for following me here on OG Therapy. And a little extra thing I want you to follow if you don't mind. Actually, I hope you don't mind because we talk about social health in here. I'm excited to announce we have launched what's called the Social Health Initiative. What that is that's a new branch of the Quit Trippin' tree. Quit Trippin' is the 501c3 nonprofit organization that I started a long time ago with the help of a brave young woman named Kirsty. And if you want to go follow it, go to www.socialhealthinitiative.org, or you can go to Instagram and follow us, Social Health Initiative, to learn all about our story, about how it came about, and what we're trying to do with this new movement called the Social Health Movement. Basically, long story short, there's physical health, there's mental health. We believe that there's been a missing health discipline for a long, long time, and we're going to fill that gap, and that missing health discipline is social health. So please go follow Social Health Initiative Instagram and look forward, and check us out on our website too, but also look forward for a lot of content information coming out about social health tips and tools that we'll be posting on that website. And until next time, and on the Instagram page. And until next time, be cool.